Hmm? Ah! Oh.
Hello, friends. Sick editing Jade here. Forgive my sultry sound. And I apologize for our finale episode coming out so very late. I got sick as a dog for the first time literally in years at the worst possible time. And I'm so sorry. Believe me, no one is more frustrated by this than I. So at the time of recording the episode, we knew the podcast was going to be long. You know, it's the finale, but we had no idea that we were going to break a record here at Podcastica for the longest attempted upload ever. Shocking no one, it's Jade's podcast. Clocking in at a whopping 5 hours and 22 minutes. We've exceeded the megabyte limit for file uploads on the platform that we use, which explains why I woke up today with literally no voice. So you're welcome, people who hate our long podcast episodes. This one's for you. Oh, I hope you enjoy the hilarious diatribe we go into on how you can basically go suck it if you hate our long episodes. I'm not cutting that out because it's now very funny, since not only some listeners are telling us to stop it, with the long episodes, but the platform we use is also telling us to stop it. So we have no choice but to give you 2 episodes this week. So pop the champagne on this momentous occasion. I assume my award is coming in the mail any day now. And in light of this special occasion, I've got a little acceptance speech for you guys. I got a little something to say. And also for guys, believe it or not, this is still not all of the feedback. The rest of our feedback on Facebook and Instagram, we will have, along with a stray email or 2 that came in late. We will have all of that included on our next episode when we interview Matilda Szydigis. So if you still have not left us feedback and would like to do so, just check out the show notes for all the links to all the places that you can do that. And we got a lot of voice messages this time. That made us extremely happy. So, if you've ever thought about leaving us a voice message, but, for whatever reason decided against it, maybe reconsider after you hear from the listeners in this episode. I think that you can see why voice messages are just so special and precious to us. I feel like we didn't say it enough in this episode when we recorded, because we were so deliriously tired in our 6th podcasting hour. But I just want to say, for myself and for my girls, I know I speak for Kara and Erica when I say, once again, thank you. Just thank you. Thank you. From the bottom to the top, the whole of our hearts, guys, for your incredible support of our podcast by rating and reviewing and leaving us your feedback. It just means so much to us. We love doing this podcast for many selfish reasons, but the biggest reason is the interaction with the audience. We just feel so privileged that you guys take the time to listen to our crazy, lengthy ramblings about how much we love The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I mean, the show is really special, and I knew this show was really special. That's why I wanted to podcast about it. But I don't think any of us, certainly I, didn't have any idea how much the audience engagement would affect me. It truly feels like a community and a family, especially on the Facebook groups that we're a part of. And I would just really like to especially give a shout out to the listeners from and the hosts of the Facebook groups we're a part of course, Podcastica Facebook group. You guys have been there some of you have been there with me since I started the podcast of Dead to Me and through with Murder Magnets covering Poker Face, but you've stuck around for Mrs. Maisel, and I thank you. And especially the Facebook groups like the Gaslight Cafe Facebook group, the unofficial Marvelous Mrs. Maisel group, and all things ASP, and also the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel group. Guys, if you're not already, I highly recommend joining one or all of these Facebook groups, because it's only going to deepen your appreciation of the show, but also, added bonus, guaranteed you're going to find more new friends over there than you will know what to do with. It's overwhelming. I know that some people that I've met in those groups are going to remain in our lives. Me, Kara, and Erica, we're all going to be friends with you guys for a long, long time. And I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful and humbled. I'm just so appreciative. Just thank you, listeners. It's crazy to say this to people that I've never seen or actually spoken to in real life, but I really do love you guys. Okay, so now before I get all emotional and start to cry, I'll shut up. Yeah, so just enjoy this separate, one-time only listener feedback episode. And as always, my loves, tits up.
Was truly no less than a crime. Now I've this perfectly marvelous girl in my perfectly beautiful room, and we're living together and having a marvelous time.
Oh, Sally, I'm afraid.
Okay, so we're going to start with our emails. And our first email is from Julia Cost. And Julia Cost, I believe this is J.A. Cost, who left us a lovely 5-star review. Thank you so much, Julia.
Yay.
Okay, Erica, you want to take that one?
Sure. Hi, Jade, Erica, and Kara. I love listening to your podcast, and it has greatly enhanced my appreciation for so many details in the show. I wanted to comment on one moment in episode 7 that felt incredibly heavy to me, and I had to watch it again and again. It was the moment when Hetty asked Susie, "Is it more than that?" And Susie did not respond. She took a breath, but didn't shoot back an answer, which is so uncharacteristic given her rapid-fire responses that we have seen throughout the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
That breath, non-answer, felt so laden with meaning to me. I have long sensed that Susie is deeply and subconsciously in love with Midge and can't even admit it to herself. But all of her actions add up to it, spending her whole life serving her above all else. She picked the right person to love because she gets to be the partner to such a powerful woman, but it is totally platonic and the relationship will always be safe. This level of intimacy is perfect for her because she has been so hurt by whatever happened with Hetty that she never wants to put herself in a vulnerable position again. Hetty calling her out with that question felt electrifying, like she could see right through the walls Susie has built for herself, which no one else can see through. Hetty can see through it because she's been on the inside of that wall with Susie, and even all these years later, she knows her better than anyone and can tear her down to speechless vulnerability in a 5-word question.
Yes.
Yes. Please do take us through all the other seasons. I can't wait to rewatch and listen to your commentary, unpacking this masterpiece through every episode. Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much, Julia.
Oh, Julia, that was excellent. And then
That was
she has
wonderful.
another email.
Julia emails again and says, "Hi again. By the way, I want to share this Maisel story with you because you would appreciate it. I visited NYC in August of 2019 and went to Mood Fabrics where I bought a few yards of fabric. I'm a textile designer and it was inspiring. I bet. A few months later, in December 2019, while watching the Miami season of Mrs. Maisel that was just being released, I recognized one of the fabrics I had bought. Midge was wearing it on the beach in the sunburn scene. Of course, I had to sew a little romper to match hers. I only had 1 yard of fabric, so my version ended up being much more mini than hers. It was so much fun to have that connection with the show through fabric. I have attached pics of my romper and a screenshot of Midge in her outfit. That is such a freaking cute romper.
Dude,
And
you are talented.
the red hat. That
Amazing.
is adorable.
Seriously, I would love to put these photos on Instagram. I'm going to ask Julia if we can do that
Yes,
because
for
you guys
permission.
need to see. Yeah, she's very talented. Thank you so much, Julia. And keep making amazing outfits like this and show
yeah.
me because
I think it's quite appropriate that there was a connection through fashion for this show.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. So, okay, now we have a voice message. We got so many voice messages, guys. I was so happy about this for more than just Melanie Brown. Oh my gosh. I was like, yes, finally, you guys waited long enough, didn't you? But we got some voice messages. So this first one is from Mackenzie.
Hi, ladies. I'm Mackenzie. Love the pod. I'm sending this in right after I listened to the Tuesday episode. So for all I know, the finale airs and I'm completely proved wrong. But am I the only one that thinks don't? Midge's note to herself means don't get married. Don't have kids. This might be a little bit of a long walk to my point, but please walk with me. But I mean, the show opens on Midge giving that speech on her wedding day. She's on the top of the mountain, like that day that every little girl dreams of. And that whole speech, that's like a Lifetime Achievement Award speech. Like she's going through basically the whole process of her hopping on this conveyor belt at 5 or 6 and then tick, 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 all of these boxes. And here she is. This is her lifetime achievement. She's done the thing that you're supposed to do. And I gotta assume that Midge and Joel got married the winter after they graduated. So like right before graduation, a few months before her wedding, I wonder if like something deep inside Midge was just like, you're not done. This isn't, you haven't achieved all that you were meant to achieve. Don't just settle on this. Because if you think about, the glimpses that we got of Joel and Midge's marriage, she was on autopilot. She's retired. She's achieved. She doesn't need to do anything else, but she's bored. She's kind of going through the motions, performing this perfect wife. She's bored. Joel's bored. And it takes Joel's affair to really shake her into reality and show to her that, yeah, this life isn't fulfilling you and you are capable of doing so much more. And she went out and she just took that by the balls.
That's exactly what we were saying.
Then that Joel saw that quality in her and was finally saw her talent and was like in awe of her and decided to essentially like dedicate his entire life to supporting her. And it wasn't until then that their dynamic was good. Like they probably never should have gotten married so young. I think this whole season is showing that they definitely should not have had kids. And I don't know, I guess what's really driving me to think about this is that I've always thought of like Joel and Midge to be a stand-in for Amy Sherman Palladino and Dan Palladino. Obviously those two are very open about wanting to be child-free, but I think it's, more than that kind of applies. Like Amy and Dan both got together and set out to be writers, and Amy saw a lot more success. And I can only assume that Daniel was, jealous at first. But I mean, you look at them now, he's kind of settled into being second fiddle and supporting her visions, but he's obviously got such deep reverence and respect for her and is in awe of her. And she's definitely like that bubbly, effervescent, charismatic dynamo that is the vision. And then he's kind of there supporting her. And I'm just wondering if this is just their, 5-season long, very expensive, Amazon funded, imaginative think piece of maybe what their marriage and their relationship could have been like if they fell in love and got together when they were in the 50s instead of when they did.
That's so wow.
I don't know. Food
I
for
love that.
thought. Could be totally wrong. Love you guys.
I love that. Thank you so much. Oh, wait.
Wow.
What was her name?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie. That's we totally agree on so much of what you said, but yeah, I think that you're onto something about Amy Sherman Palladino.
And we'll go on a walk with you anytime.
Yeah.
Yes, anytime. Okay, this next one is from Amy Kraus. She says, I hope you find my message interesting enough to play despite its length. I had a list of topics to mention and I tried to speak quickly. P.S. to my voice message. Oh, I knew something. I was going to forget something in this message. Please add that I adored the Lenny Bruce scenes. I found them so powerful, especially the one after his Carnegie Hall show when he really gives it to her. But also the one when they finally succumb to their attraction to each other. I could watch those scenes over and over. Oh, so could we, Amy. All right. Here's her voice message.
Hello, Jade, Kara, and Erica. My name is Amy. I'm a huge Mrs. Maisel fan. And I actually have a cold right now, so I sound funny.
You're not
but
alone.
I can assure you it's not from walking around in a blizzard without my hat on. I've been meaning to message you guys all season. I've enjoyed your podcast so much. And I do talk back to you guys. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I agree with you. And sometimes it's like, no, you guys have it all wrong. I love that you are critical of the show when it needs to be said. And I also love that you gush because, it's fun to listen to. All right, so I'm going to run through a bunch of things that I've been thinking about all season. And just bear with me. I'll try to speak as clearly, concisely, and quickly as possible. All right, Joel, you guys are down on Joel, though you're kind of coming over to his side. I just want to say that from the beginning of the show, Midge demonstrated that she wasn't entirely honest with him. You know, she'd get up and she'd do her makeup, get her hair done and all of that, and then jump back in bed as if she woke up that way. And that is really not the honest way to work within a relationship. So I would say, not that that justifies him having the affair, not by any means, but they both, could have connected a little bit better. Okay, Esther, she mentions in that first episode about her relationship with her papa, I think is how or grandpa, I can't remember how she refers to him. And you three, as well as like every other place I read, always assumed it was Abe she was talking about. But it could have been the other grandpa, right? Of course, now that we are where we are in the season, it does definitely point to Abe being the one that she is closest to. But Moish was a possibility, and no one even considered that. Abe, I'm sorry. I know you guys love him. I have found him so annoying this season. His speech and the other day at dinner with his guy friends, it was so wonderful. I loved hearing it.
Oh,
but it was such a 180. I had kind of a hard time buying it. I wish we would have seen this character development earlier. And he also says he did nothing to support Midge over the years, but I would disagree because he and Rose took on a large share of watching the children.
I agree with that.
Let's face it, Midge could not have gotten all those late night gigs without someone being home with the kids. And also, Midge wouldn't be the comedian she is if she had been supported by him. She would have turned out to be a different person. Not being supported as she grew up by him, I think that gave her the edge she needed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, sorry about that. I had a Zoom
trauma
meeting.
Makes you funny.
Work. Okay, so
Yeah.
Also, you guys have said that Midge kind of gets away with everything, and she never gets how did you guys word it? She never basically has to pay for her bad behavior and everything else. But I would disagree with you because she's paying for it, as we see in the flash forwards, with her crappy relationship with her kids. Speaking specifically of when she's in the church and she's sitting next to Hava with her granddaughter, and Hava doesn't even want her to touch the baby. And obviously Esther has an issue with her. So I would say she's actually paid a very, very big price for behaving the way she has and being so self-centered. Okay, let's talk about Dinah just for a second. We need a series. We need the Palladinos to create a series about Dinah. That way we still get a little bit of Susie here and there. And they could really, I think her story would be fascinating about how this Black woman in the 60s got this position and just grew it, and how tenacious she was. And so I was thinking about titles and going with alliteration. I think we could go with the indispensable Dinah. There is a little bit of alliteration there. Or
I love it.
Oh, shoot. There was another one I thought of. Anyway, doesn't matter. Zelda. Let's talk about that book she put together. And you three did not like how that whole thing played out, that they were acting like they didn't know anything about the book. And I agree. It was kind of annoying, a little extra zany. But I would say that they were all acting like that book didn't exist, because if they did acknowledge it, that means they would have to accept that Zelda's leaving. So they're all in denial, and they're trying to act like she's not leaving, and ignoring the book helps them with that little thing. Hetty, she said, "You owe me" to Gordon. And I also got the idea that it didn't have anything to do with Princess Margaret. I feel like it goes even prior to his to Midge coming into their lives. I think it has something to do with their relationship and why they're together. I think that Gordon may be a bit of a beard for Hetty. I cannot figure out what Gordon has done, though, that Hetty can help him with. Maybe it helps hide his Playboy image to be married. So it gives him this layer of respectability. But I just feel like she's done him a major solid in the past. And that's why she said, "You owe me." As far as going now to what she said to Susie about if Susie liked Midge, or was in love with her, I think I agree with what you said. Yes, they are soulmates. They love each other, but I have watched them because I was kind of wondering if she was attracted to her as well, if Susie was attracted to Midge. You never see any sort of longing looks from Susie to Midge, like when Midge walks away. So I really don't think there's anything there.
Agreed.
And thank you so much for recommending watching episode 1, season 1, episode 1 again. I'm totally going to do that before the finale. The flashbacks and flash forwards, I think they've worked for the most part pretty well. I know that it takes up a lot of our precious time, but I think it's really helped advance the storyline in ways that otherwise would have taken many episodes to do. However, my favorite was the one from how many ever episodes ago when they do the testimonial with Susie. I thought that was a fantastic way of getting a lot of information in a short period of time. I am tired of them though wasting time with some things that just don't matter. And I'm sorry, the Danny Stevens thing was just a bummer. I'm watching it. What did it clock in at? Like 5 minutes, the little black and white Danny Stevens show. I found it pointless and I got very angry. Okay, I didn't get angry. I was just bummed that they took so much time out of what little time we had left and played it. And I know, I can't remember who said it in the most recent episode that, having gone back and watched the last episode and then this episode, they got it. They understood the whole song that he did at the end. I don't know. I'm just not sure the Palladinos really had it in them to plan stuff backwards in that way. I could be wrong. I often am wrong.
They are crazy.
I just thought, I know there must be a point of them having in it. I just still can't figure out. Okay, I'm almost there, guys. I guess I know I've forgotten things, and it's going to bug me when I get done with.
Wait, hold on. I just have to say real quick, because I know I'll forget to say it. Just FYI, people, like the Palladinos are insane with planning their storylines. Like it is next level.
Day one, they knew that Midge's big break was going to be like getting on the couch of the equivalent of the Johnny Carson show. Like they plan.
Yeah.
Like
they're just
crazy.
like, I know that there's just like evidence to back that up. That's the only reason that I say.
I think their choice.
I would never say someone's wrong, but because it's not like an opinion. There's like, it's more than saying an opinion is, you know what I mean?
I think that they just made certain choices by using flash forwards to kind of help build the story in this weird kind of flow. And a lot of it worked and some of it was frustrating. But then after seeing it all, I appreciate it more.
They did say in an article, just real quick, that they played around with the idea of these types of flash forwards all the way back in season 2.
Yeah.
So they've been thinking about it since way back when. So I'm sure some of that serviced. Anyway.
This and send this, and I'm going to say, oh my God, I totally forgot to bring that up. But my last thing is, I think the Palladinos overall are just amazing. I think we can all agree on that. When they get it right, they get it so right. But I will say, some of my beefs with some of the character development or lack thereof, some of the people popping in for no good reason and then leaving, and just some of the time wasting scenes they've had this last season. When they get it wrong, it just feels so disappointing because you expect this amazing show to be amazing all the time. And I guess I'm just asking a little bit too much for them. Anyway, thank you for letting me air my thoughts. And I can't wait for this last episode and to listen to your take on it. Have a great day, ladies. Thank you.
Amy.
Thanks, Amy.
Babe.
That was amazing.
That was amazing. There was like, I wish we had more time to just like respond to every single thing. But I think that you're onto something. A lot of what you said is like, she's got a great theory mind,
The one thing I will say, talking about Midge and how we have talked about her kind of self-centeredness and how she seems to avoid really serious consequences for her actions. And you mentioned her bad relationship with her children. being a pretty big consequence. And honestly, I don't know how much she cares. I know she's human and she cares somewhat, but I think she is perfectly content with how her life and her relationships ended up, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. I do.
Yeah.
I think that there was something to what happened with her and Ethan. She did look upset
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
when she realized how Ethan
Sees
you
her.
know, yeah, how Ethan sees her. She had a
Yeah.
moment of it was only after I went back and watched it again that I saw like, no, she does get it. She is in reality, because we were saying in that when we podcasted on it, like, I'm kind of worried if
Yeah.
Midge is aware of how much Ethan is
She
not okay with her.
knows.
Yeah, she knows. And I think it does hurt a little, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that relationship, like the way her relationship ended up with her children, is less of a consequence of her selfish and kind of bad behavior that we had discussed, and more of a commentary on the inability to have it all, especially as a woman back in, the 1950s and the 1960s. And even today, like if you go all in your career, then your family life will inevitably take a couple of hits and you just can't give 100% everywhere. So I saw it more as a take on that issue as opposed to Midge facing any sort of negative consequences.
Yeah, same. So, okay, Amy then sent us another voice message after she watched the finale. So here we go.
I was going to ask her, what is she going to say about the finale?
Well, now you will know, Erica.
I know.
Here you go.
Hello, ladies. This is Amy, and I did send in a long recording last week, but I had to do another one. This one will be much shorter because I watched the finale last night, and oh my God, I loved it. I've been reading online a lot of people's opinions, and there's always those people who are not going to be happy with the way a series wraps up because they want to know more about certain threads that happened throughout, and I totally get that, but I don't know. I think the Palladinos got it. I smiled so much, especially near the end when Midge was doing her final stand-up, and I loved that they were all there. Finally, Rose and Abe and Shirley were really seeing how talented she was. I loved Joel and his support of her, and Susie, of course. My God, the scenes with Susie, I couldn't have asked for anything more. I'm so glad they brought Lenny back. It was very, very sad seeing him in the state. What was it, 1965, I think, the state that he was in. I do wish that Mitch had seen him one last time. But I get it. And I'm very glad that they actually did that flashback to the Chinese dinner they had after they hooked up. And we got to see Lenny. That was like our final look at Lenny was when he was still in his prime. I adored that scene. Yes, at the I won't skip to the end quite yet. I thought they did a really good job of helping you understand the lifelong love that Joel and Midge were going to have for each other. And oh my God, when she did the stand up and then everybody was applauding and then they showed the writers and they curtsied.
Yes.
It was fantastic.
So
and also the writers, I wish they would have been able to do more with them, because when she's running around the office in her undergarments, which I couldn't believe she did that.
Thank you.
And she looks up and the writers are looking at her through the window, and then they turn around like they're embarrassed, but the one guy just like stands there and stares at her. That was hilarious as well. And then during the show, when she's still sitting on the stool and Gordon's being just a complete jerk, and calling her our resident lady writer, and then they turned the camera onto the other writers and they looked so awkward because they had no idea they were going to be on TV. I mean, that just it just made me laugh. So then the ending, the flash forward to 2005. I would have loved to see maybe Joel in that. But it's no surprise she ended up alone, right? In this gorgeous, huge apartment. And she wants to work every day because she's trying to fill her life with something because she doesn't have the family around her. I didn't love the way they aged her. You guys talked about that in a previous episode, how, it's often distracting the way they age characters. But my God, have they nailed it with Susie?
Thank
Both times
you.
they've aged her. I loved her look.
Yes.
I totally bought it. And the fact that she upgraded from pigeons in the window to these, what I imagine are extremely expensive exotic birds who are just squawking constantly in the background, cracked me up. It reminded me, when I thought about it later, of her running into the office and yelling at Mike and how she kept squawking, Mike. It just it all tied
Susie is such a bird
together
lady
for me. I love that they get together. Midge has this gorgeous, huge apartment that's perfectly furnished, and then she's got that one room she sits in, probably spends 75% of her at-home time in. And she and Susie get on the phone and watch Jeopardy together. And I'm like, yep, I get this. Anyway, so I just wanted to add my 10 cents and say that I
10
really
cents.
was very, very happy with the ending. I think that I hope the Palladinos don't do what they did with the Gilmore Girls and try to, 10 years later, do another 4 episodes. I think that they should just leave it as it is. And, honestly, yes, we don't know a lot about what happens in all the people in her and Midge's life. But that's real life, right? We meet someone, we like them, we know a little bit about their family, but there's so much left unknown. And it's like we've just hit this window into her world, and we have to accept that we're not going to know everything. Just, take what you can get. So thank you, ladies. I'm totally going to miss your podcast, but I will be doing the rewatch with you whenever you get that together. And so please do the rewatch, and have a lovely and marvelous day.
Aw.
Thank you,
That was
Lisa.
amazing.
That was incredible. Sorry, not Lisa, Amy. God, looking at Lisa's name and I'm saying, sorry, Amy, amazing. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you. I wish I could comment on everything,
Mm.
Yeah.
Our next email is from Lisa, is it Hilton Costa? Said, I find the length of your episodes and the chatty meandering absolutely delightful. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, goodness. Thank you.
I would definitely keep listening for a rewatch. Please do a rewatch of Maisel.
Okay, guys. Okay, we hear you. We'll do it. We'll do it.
Abe's speech about Midge in the penultimate episode is so very touching. I love it more than I have words to describe. And I know you don't know me, but that's really significant because I fucking always have words. I like you already, Lisa.
I know, Lisa. You're among friends here.
Yeah. Really, way too many words for most people, I'm sure. But I feel certain that you fantastic females would get me if we got to spend time together.
Yes.
I had totally spaced on the emergency phone call at the end of the episode and was really not sure what it will be. Oh, not was. And I'm really not sure what it will be, but I think nobody died. It would overly influence the finale for sure. I can talk. Shirley and Moish to die. I still feel like she ended up writing for the Hank Azaria sitcom, or why else would it figure so heavily in one of the very last episodes? Yeah.
Got a point there.
Or it's just the Palladinos doing Palladino things
Yeah.
they want to do. She said, I really love Genius Esther. Ethan's wife is frightening.
Yeah, boo hava boo.
Love you and love these podcasts. I will almost certainly go back and start over on the podcast because they're just charming. Aw.
Aw.
Signed, Lisa in Lower Alabama. Lisa in LA. I like that.
My goodness, Lisa.
Thanks,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
Love that. All right, so the next email is from Sabrina Mikan. Hi, ladies. I have thoroughly enjoyed your podcast, especially for this final season, as I could not find many discussing the episodes so soon after they aired. I love the length and each part of each episode. Thank you. I love the readings of scenes and quotes. Yay, Jade. Woohoo. I love the insights from each of you due to your areas of expertise, law and piracy, actress and acting, motherhood and thriving in life, and more. No friends are watching the series.
I love how it's law and piracy.
Law
That
and
is
piracy.
That is Kara's area of
Yeah.
expertise.
I'm going to put that on my business cards now.
Yep.
That's
Qualifications.
awesome. No friends are watching the series right now due to my excitement they have begun viewing. However, listening to you all, I am often nodding my head, laughing, reflecting, and more from all the discussion. I feel like we're sitting gushing in conversation about each episode. I must repeat, I love every minute of your podcast. And this is in all
good.
caps.
Good. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, we get more love for yes, we love the length. We love the meandering. We love the feedback. Like, we get more of that than we do negative. So people who are negative on our meandering, people who are negative on our feedback, I'm sorry, but you're outvoted is all it
Yeah.
is.
As there are 3 other series I'm watching when listening to podcasts, I'm disappointed that more is not covered per episode. I could tell you there could be more said. There may be more to say, but so much is edited out so they can be an hour or shorter. I have not watched any of the previous series by the Palladinos, so again, your understandings regarding the Gilmore Girls and this series are so helpful. I agree, because I also did not watch the Gilmore Girls, and I appreciate it. I cried and laughed in so many episodes of the entire series. I love that Abe takes note and reflects on his daughter's strength and thriving in life. I think every person should hear this from their parents, guardians, families, and friends. So often when we're in the weeds of hardships, limbo, and changes, it is hard to see the bigger picture. It helps to take time for all of us to reflect on what cool things we have done, been involved in, and created, let alone acknowledging the hard work of our lives and everyone around us. Susie, I adore Alex Borstein since my childhood days of watching Mad TV. I listened to a neat interview with her about her life, which also gave awareness about her life, her growth as an actor, balancing being a wife, mother, and working. Especially exciting to see older actresses getting brilliant roles in so many streaming company series in this show. Agreed. Midge, she has had me sigh, scream, frown, and laugh. Seeing her drive and motivation truly is hard, and what it takes, be it back in those days or now, to get the dream job, career, and more. I have often thought about what a sociology professor told me when I was 20. We cannot have it all, career, family, and job. We generally try, but it is close to impossible. This is a theme I see in the last season, especially with a forward look at the kids of Midge's career. Although I am not a mother nor wife, I feel relief I have time for myself and family versus the exhaustion of juggling so much like dear friends. Oh my God, that's me. You're only happy as your unhappiest child is a quote my BFF told me about 15 years ago, and that is the truth. The Maisels, fun, silly, and just right. We all have memories of mothers and grandmothers who could do anything, make anything, and always had food on hand. I still think of my own grandmother's handmade sandwiches, cakes, and how I could call and visit and play cards. She always asks, "Are you hungry?" Happy memories, tears of Nano. Oh, listen, anytime we think about grandmas, I'm like tearing up thinking about my grandma. The Weissmans, exhausting, funny, and such a mess. I have to sigh out loud as I write this, but how their characters work so well, and I give them credit for several good scenes. From Rose figuring out the matchmaking mafia may be after her, to Abe in his second career at the paper. Kevin Pollak, Jane Lynch, Brian Taratina, always been a big fan of each of them. From The Usual Suspects to Best in Show to Uncle Buck.
Yes.
Oh, I know Uncle Buck. Bravo to the casting. Yes, I adore Jane Lynch, and her character is just perfect as the overactor reactor, and I love her cadence and how she delivers her lines. I find myself saying some of her lines and they make me smile. Or if I said with company present, they agree and repeat despite not knowing it from the show, smiling as I think of her. Luke Kirby.
I want to know what lines she's saying. That sounds fun.
I think we need to hear which ones are her favorites.
Yeah.
Luke Kirby, my first time seeing him, and he nailed it. He gets a cool beat vibe across, and Midge waiting until the blue room was just right. The scene of him undoing her dress in one move was impressive, that I'd hope everyone learns how to be that smooth. I think the only scene that comes to mind of that smoothness is Bull Durham. When Kevin Costner's one-handed garter unsnapped. Wow.
Yeah, that was hot.
Yeah.
All of the above.
This has already been a long email. That's okay. This is a long podcast. I will try and leave a voicemail. Oh, yeah. But it has been an emotional season, and even typing this, I have happy tears. I'll be up past midnight tomorrow to view the final episode. I do not think it is fair they are not giving us a 2-hour ending. I cried and held my breath when Midge said to Susie in Grand Central Station, if you don't do this, I will always know you could have done something and didn't. Paraphrasing. And then to see Susie went and spoke to Hetty. That is what it takes. And all of us know there have been one or multiple people in that life that helped us find our path. And seeing Susie do it gave me tears. As her manager and friend, yes, yes, yes. I repeat, I love every minute of your podcast. In closing, as a registered nurse in hospice and oncology, thank you so much for what you do. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
The discussion at the table is one I bear witness to many times a week. Aging is tough, and it is important to pause, look around, see the little things, and take a deep breath. Each day we have is a gift, particularly in good health. Seeing Joe's flashback to regret was soothing, as so many people don't always reflect on their actions and always all the repercussions. Thank you all for this podcast and experience. You each get a round of applause from me each time I listen. Bravo, bravo.
Aw.
I am so very proud of each of you and your dedication and work on this podcast. Fondly, Sabrina, Mike, and RN.
Aw,
Wow.
that's so
Sabrina!
nice.
And there's
my
more.
God.
Probably just for you. I'm going to read this for you, Sabrina. I want you to be paid and paid well for this work. Well, that would be nice.
That would
Your
be nice.
excitement, entertainment, editing, insights, and more, and so uplifting and brighten the day as I imagine each listener listens. I've been posting on at Doc World Film. Let me read this again. At Doc World Film, tagging the show to get them to see you and say, we want to hire you for the rewatch of
Aw.
each season. Oh, thank you. I'm not on Facebook, but if there's anything I can post or tag, please let me know. Oh, thank you so much. And
That's
listening.
So sweet.
Oh, she is cheering us on and listening to Dead to Me as well.
Yay.
Next, she's going to figure out how to give us a 5-star review on iTunes, as she's never done that before. Oh, bravo. Thank you, Sabrina, so
That's
much
so
for all
nice.
that.
Sabrina.
That was wonderful.
No, when I'm having a bad day, Sabrina, I'm just gonna open your email and
Yeah. Yep.
You can't see us, but we are totally smiling right now.
yeah. My
Oh
cheeks
my
Thank you,
gosh.
Sabrina. Yes. Mine
Yeah,
do too.
my cheeks are really hurting. Oh, and I agreed with like everything she said, especially about Susie and Midge stuff, and yeah,
so
all of
spot
it.
on.
Yep.
Ugh.
All right, next, Gregory Torres. Love the podcast. I think Hetty and Gordon have some sort of marriage of convenience. Hetty seems to have a relationship with Susie, so it could be a marriage for appearances, or possibly Gordon strayed and she stayed. But it seems as though this is the first time she has really played that card, Greg. Yeah, now I remember what I wanted to. Someone had said they were speculating. Oh, I think it was Amy. She was speculating on what the favor from Hetty and to Gordon was, like why he owes her. And people are reading into it a lot, like saying that they only have a marriage of convenience and Hetty has done something for Gordon. But I'm pretty sure, I mean, yes, clearly it's a marriage of, I'm pretty sure it's a marriage of convenience that Hetty is, after this episode, we're pretty sure that Hetty is interested in women.
Yeah.
But as far as the why Gordon owes Hetty, I think it's one of those things that, Amy and Dan write that people want to read far into. And it's like, doesn't go that deep. It's just about Princess Margaret. I'm pretty sure that's all it was. She's just saying because
she said it was so
I know. Well, and that's what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying though, is that's why that's one moment of this season that did kind of bug me a little bit, because like, quit that. Like, stop trying to make things sound more like mysterious and interesting than they really are. And just to never ever even comment on it again. It's just weird,
If
like,
she had
I
delivered it more like, matter of fact, like,
I got your
Gordon.
Princess Margaret.
Yeah, or like
Right. No, or if it had been one of those mysterious things that led to, oh, that's what it is, then at least just tell us, don't make us try to be like, wait, wasn't that?
Because it feels like a loose end, even though it probably isn't.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not really a loose end, but it feels like it is because of the way that it was placed, that it was put to us, Yeah.
Yeah.
Precisely.
I was going to say, if he said she owed him, we would have tied it to Susie or the fact that she's, is interested in women. But other than him being a playboy womanizer guy who likes to, play the field, who cares? Especially in that time.
Yeah.
So Gregory he's sent another email. I'm listening to your episode 8 podcast, and I think maybe Susie hurt Hetty. Hetty seems to not be jealous, but happy that Susie has found someone in Midge. Yeah, on episode 8, I could see that you felt that. Yeah,
maybe both.
Sure.
She could be both.
Yeah.
She seems quite like the dreamer. Like she's like I don't want optimistic. She's comes from wealth,
head in the clouds.
Sometimes. and even like she's like, let's just get to realize like
the consequences.
She doesn't come back. Yeah, the consequences of her actions, and like doesn't come to reality. Like she hurts people in her path. Like it's not okay.
Yeah, unaware.
Yeah. Oh, Hetty.
It's dangerous to not be aware. It's kind of like living adult life as a child, and then that's dangerous. Yeah, I would have, as we said in the episode, I really would have liked more from Hetty and Susie. Yeah. Just one last time. I was very bummed. As I was watching this last episode, I was like, nothing from Hetty? Nothing?
Not even
really?
Not even that a look. We got our last look was the look that she did on the stairs before she went to Gordon.
Right. Ugh. Yeah. Oh God. There was just it's a crime how way too little we got of Susie and Hetty together. Like use Nina Arianda. You have Nina Arianda. Use her. Yeah. Well, we can't have it all, can we? All right. Next one. Tara, you want to read Lisa?
Lisa sent in another email after she watched the finale, and I love this. Her subject line is "finale was perfect," and then she said, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! I'm sending this message because when I saw Imogene, you guys were my first thought."
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you for thinking of us.
When I saw Imogene pop up.
Oh, I got so excited. Just because we were like basically told we're not going to get Imogene, and then to get a little Imogene, I was like, ah!
Listen, and it was worth every little tiny moment of it. It was so cute.
Yep,
it was adorable.
So precious.
She is indeed. Okay, this is from Chris Schulstrom. Hello, all. First, I just want to say thank you so much for this wonderful podcast. I love to listen to podcasts along with shows I'm watching, and you make me feel like I'm dishing with my friends. I really appreciate you all.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
So much. I just finished watching episode 9. So many thoughts. I honestly laughed and cried and cheered and jumped up and down. I love this so much. I cried when they tried to save Lenny. I cheered when Midge took the mic. And thank goodness we got to see her whole act. Yes. Yes. I missed it. Ugh. I loved everyone frantically trying to reach Rose. And of course, that final scene between Midge and Susie. This episode was exactly the ending I wanted and didn't know how to ask for. And yeah, that's really a good point. Like it really was something like not to imagine, but it really felt really good at the end.
Yeah.
I feel sad that it's over, but satisfied. I will definitely go back and rewatch it at some point in the future. So I'll keep my eyes open to see if you get to do that rewatch podcast. Thank you again, my friends, Chris Schulstrom. P.S. I tried to leave you a review on Apple Podcasts app, but it didn't seem to post. I gave you 5 stars, of course. Thank you. Any ideas if I need to do something different? We will check, Chris.
Yeah, I'll try to figure that out. That's strange. I have no idea why that wouldn't post. How annoying.
Yeah, sometimes if you just rate it, it seems to glitch as opposed to if you actually write out a review.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, reviews never show up right away. They usually take a few days, or no, not a few days, but they take like at least 24 hours. Sorry, guys. So, listeners, Gail sent us a message, and she forgot to include her voice message. And then she sent us another one that says, "Call me Penny. Here's my voice message." And I was like, "Penny? Penny who?" And they're like, "Penny Pan, Jade." Okay. All right. Here is Gail's message.
Hello, Marvelous Maisel ladies. This is Gail Nestle recording. I wanted to share with you what the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel meant to me. I thought the ending was fabulous, by the way. I don't think we could have asked for anything better. First of all, to Matilda Szydigis, Zelda, Dziękuję bardzo, kochane. And that's about all the Polish I know, except that Polish ran through my household throughout my childhood and my upbringing, except that my parents only spoke it between themselves as the adult language to keep things from children. But I remember it well. So every time you spoke it, I cried and laughed. My parents are both gone now. And my mother was our Mrs. Maisel. I think maybe I'll post a picture of her with my brother at his bar mitzvah looking strangely like Michael Zegan.
Love that picture,
In
Gail.
any
Yeah.
case, I just wanted to talk about the last episode. Back to Zelda. I was really concerned about her relationship with Janusz. I mean, in the end, she called Rose to say, go to the studio to watch Midge or Ms. Miriam, as she called her, do her gig, and she was crouching in the bathroom, hiding from Janusz. So there was something left there that I found a little disturbing, and I was wondering if that marriage, was at all happy. He
Yeah.
seemed to
A lot
turn
of
into
people